Welcome back to Creating Dementia Solutions. Richard Pyatt here. This is a Miles for Memories program. It's focused on helping understand how Miles for Memories in the community helps a number of folks, whether they are directly affected by dementia or maybe they're caring for someone who is, which I suppose is a direct connection, isn't it? At any rate, some of the programs that support this effort is part of what we'll talk about today with Sherry Sherbin, who's the lead volunteer and founder of Miles for Memories. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Richard. Always a delight to see you.
I'm glad to see you as well. Boy, you know, there is a information pamphlet that talks about the number of programs that Miles for Memories is involved in, and thus that you support as a result of participating in some of the things we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is amazing, Sherry, and that was the point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To create some vehicles by which folks living with dementia now, whether they are directly affected or peripherally, can find support. That was the point, right?
That is the whole point. Yep.
Yeah.
As many solutions as we can collectively think of, or a solution for something maybe we don't know yet, bring it to us.
Yeah, and that has continued, hasn't it?
It has.
In fact, I think many of our conversations have been about some kind of new program or innovation like the technology that has happened.
Yeah.
And by the way, the technology has been incredible.
Yes.
And well recognized. People are recognizing the notion that safe return, for example, that's pretty slick because it means somebody gets home faster and perhaps easier than the alternative, which might have been the ER.
Right.
Just one example.
Yeah.
So in focusing on all of those things and the way to support these efforts, one of the traditional events that you've held is in September, most years at least, and it's a walk.
Yeah.
Hello, movement.
Right.
We keep bringing this up. This is one of these occasions, the community stroll.
Yeah. So the community stroll, our very first one, was September 7th, 2013. It was a great day. It was a great way of bringing people in the community together to learn more about what is going on with dementia, to support it, to whether with their understanding, their finances. It has allowed us, with the generous support of sponsors, walkers, donors, to create this plethora of programming, and this isn't even all of them, right? And so each year we grow in a little bit different direction from what we've learned, from what the research says, and you know, just part of those dollars that come in are the large dollars come from the sponsors in general, and we try to make sure we thank them as much as we possibly can, because we couldn't do it without them. The donors that make a contribution along the way, the volunteers are huge. So our very first event, we had about 70 volunteers to make the day happen.
Wow.
Right? So think about not only making sure that the event runs the way that it needs to run, but we need people throughout the course, making sure that folks are moving along in the right direction. Right? In case an emergency should happen, we have the availability to respond to that and get care for that. Fortunately, you know, that's not something that we've really had to deal with, so that's great.
That's great.
But we have sponsors like Life Care, who is always at the event to make sure that in case something should, that we can go ahead and respond quickly and appropriately for that particular individual. But as the dollars for the events come in at the end of the year, the leadership team gets together. We look at the dollars that folks have donated, sponsors have supplied us with, and say we've got this much money. These are the programs we think we want to do this year or financially support in a new direction. Together we vote on it, and the money that is housed at Battle Creek Community Foundation, we make the decision what programs, what new directions, what we're going to do with that money. And it is a group decision. As I mentioned, the money is at the Battle Creek Community Foundation. And so what we do is for here, it stays here. It is for programming that benefits our community. and whatever ways that we can make that happen. We have had some larger grants, as an example, to do some work with technology, as an example, and to reach across the state of Michigan. Those dollars were held separately, so they did not interfere with what we were doing in Calhoun with Calhoun County dollars to make that happen. So the caregiver retreat we talked about last time is just one of those programs that the dollars that we raised last year is supporting this year.
And when we call it community stroll, by the way, you get the right impression, right? The notion that this is not a 5K and we're
Right.
going to run like heck to the other end. This is meant to illustrate that the notion of movement
Yes.
doesn't have to mean we're running a marathon here.
It doesn't. Though it's fun that you say that, because on that very same day, the Miles for Memories Marathon kicks off that day. And what we try to get folks to do is to walk a half a mile every day, so that after a 2-month period of time, by the time we get to Thanksgiving, they will have completed collectively a marathon.
Yeah, so the 26.2 miles of a marathon typically is done at one time.
Right.
But some of us, I'm raising my hand here, would like it to be spread out.
Right. But it matters. The movement matters, and that's the point. And you know, as you go back and you look at research, the amount of time needed or mileage needed in a day, a week, a month, it doesn't matter whether it's running or walking. Weight bearing is always better, but in the pool, let's get in the pool. Let's go swimming. Let's walk on the golf course. That's valuable too, right? Movement matters. It matters in everything that we do in terms of reducing risk for dementia.
So the hope would be that not only do you come and participate and support Miles for Memories, but that it would begin something of a habit
Yes.
that would happen between September 27 and Thanksgiving,
Yep.
or longer, right?
Right.
And it solidifies in your mind about creating the habit.
And we're not asking you to walk far,
Yeah.
right? And you do get a few days off in there, right? And
Yes.
you don't have to stop at a half a mile either.
So if someone comes to this, what can they expect?
Well, once registration has begun, we kick off with the national anthem, and we'll have music there throughout it. We've got a dance team there that kind of cheers them on as they get ready for their walk. We have different folks there. We have an activity for kids every time. This year's activity is going to be decorating your own mask. Talking a little bit and connecting it to the gala that's coming up in October, the Unforgettable Masquerade. So the kids will have some fun in that direction. You'll be able to bedazzle them in any direction you want to. They'll get to meet Miles, our inflatable brain, and learn about some of the insides of what goes on in a brain and why some parts of the brain are challenged. So what happens when someone has a headache? What happens when someone has a stroke? What happens if someone has vascular dementia or is diagnosed with that? What does that mean? Our puppets are always a great conversation starter, and the puppets help not just kids, but even grown-ups understand what's going on with dementia. Right? Our newest puppet this year is Professor Brainy. He is a hoot. It is a brain that you get to see all dressed up, and he's teaching kids. And it's probably the most technical one that we have, because we're now starting to introduce some of the actual names of the different types of dementia. Right. Got to grow into that one, but it's really, really a cool way of meeting the needs of even kids who are scared, right? And need to understand, and how can they still love grandma or grandpa, because they can.
And the point is, the Miles for Memories cast of thousands, like the puppets that help us with these programs and this understanding, will all be there doing exactly that. And you'll have the opportunity to stroll. Yeah. Won't be so early, 10 a.m. So that doesn't mean you got to get up at 5 a.m. I don't think.
So we did get sidetracked, right? So once the stroll finally kicks off,
Yeah.
right, there are two different routes. There's a route that's just a half a mile, and then there's a route that's a mile, so we're not doing this for days. You get to see some of the beautiful parts of downtown Battle Creek that most folks don't even know is there, and walk along the river and enjoy that pathway. If you don't feel like walking that day, you can stay right there. We'll have food for folks, and we will have activities. So in addition to making your own mask, you can play cornhole, you can get your photo taken. It's just a day to enjoy being around other people and learn and support the organization, so we in turn can come back and support the community with what we do.
All right, so if you'd like to make a donation as part of that, you can.
You can, right? milesformemories.org is the main website, so you can go there and make a donation. I should probably put a donation button on the Facebook page, but there isn't one there yet.
Well,
you know, so
we'll find a way to get you the donation.
Or you can go to the Community Foundation and make a donation directly through them under our fund, which is Miles for Memories. It's a community project fund.
All right, so you mentioned the Unforgettable Masquerade Gala, which will be in October,
Right.
and you might end up making a mask for yourself at the stroll.
Yeah.
Talk about this gala. This is the second year for this.
Yes, year 2. So in addition to having hors d'oeuvres, there will be a silent and a live auction this time, so that's going to be a lot of fun, right? It is meant to be a masquerade, so get dressed up, enjoy it. You don't have to wear a mask, but you are encouraged to do so. We'll also have some extra masks there in case somebody just forgot, and maybe a little peer pressure is going to make them pull it out. We'll have some entertainment going on that night and music, and if you want to, you can start dancing up a storm. Again, it's another movement opportunity and a way of supporting an organization that really is trying to help those people that are impacted by dementia.
Yeah, and a terrific event as well, which is kind of a fun thing to do. We
It
get an
is.
excuse to dress up, and
Yeah.
that'll be nice.
Right.
And you're right about the peer pressure. I think that would probably happen to me. I would need. I'm not creative with these things, so I would need guidance in this area. Maybe some others will too. So the point is, don't allow yourself to be turned off by that. I
Yeah.
don't know about the mask. Don't worry about the mask. That's October 18th.
Yep, and that is going to be at Bedford Valley Golf Course this year.
Okay.
So it is really, it's still in Battle Creek, off the beaten path just a little bit. It's a beautiful location and gives us a little bit more space to be able to do a couple of additional things that year. There might even be a fun little event with, I don't know, golf balls that folks might be able to enjoy that day. And again, just learn more. Be a part of it. Learn more. Miles for Memories exists because of volunteers. We don't have any paid staff. So, if there are areas of interest that you have, if you have a loved one that's impacted, if your loved one has passed and now you would like to help others because you couldn't before, this is a great way to get engaged and to be involved in an area within Miles for Memories that matters to you. So,
You made a comment about the efforts of Miles for Memories being for people in Calhoun County.
Yeah.
So we would just take a moment to emphasize that once more, just because that means something to people, doesn't it?
It does.
The idea that they're helping their neighbors and folks whom they may know in these efforts. So there's that. But how important for the bottom line are these events? You rely on these
yes.
to keep the lights on.
Yeah, we do in a manner of speaking, but we also rely on these more specifically to develop the programs, to be able to offer the programs, to pay for the programs. So emergency respite is one of the programs that we have, and if a caregiver is injured and ends up in the hospital, the emergency respite program will provide care and pay for care for up to 3 days, so until the balance of the family can figure out what to put in place. So we're there in the moment of need and helping with what their next steps might need to be, right? We don't raise the dollars to be able to pay for them indefinitely, but we can in an emergent situation and kind of move from that. We take these dollars to help research, and in supporting research, what do we need to know this year? What is new this year? What have we learned? How do we pivot if we need to pivot? How can family members benefit from that, right? So trying to make sure that as we talk about all of these different things of what's next once you've got a diagnosis, we offer ways for families to be able to empower themselves and take those solutions and not feel stuck.
Yeah, which is very easy to feel
Yes.
when you've heard those words, right? And you're trying to figure out what's next. All right, milesformemories.org, details always there. Facebook, Miles for Memories. Click the like, follow, all of those things so that you're up to speed on what's happening. But the Community Stroll, September 27th,
Yes.
downtown Battle Creek.
Yep.
The Gala, October 18th, the 2025 Unforgettable Masquerade. All of that to support Miles for Memories, and we
Right.
encourage you to participate in those. Sherry Sherman, thank you for the update.
Thank you. Appreciate it always.
Creating Dementia Solutions is a Miles for Memories program, and we invite you to make sure you do follow us. Miles for Memories on Facebook so that you're aware when these episodes come available. We'll be back soon. In fact, there's a whole library of these episodes, so come looking for them, and we'll be glad to bring those to you. And we'll be back again soon. Take care.